Hi, Michael Levine here, and welcome to my channel. This is my fourth episode on hunting for the perfect t-shirt. What I'm looking for is just different manufacturing concepts using cotton as a base for a t-shirt, that something that would provide comfort that you would use to relax with, say on an off day from work or what have you. So today I reached out to a company, Buck Mason. I have 3 shirts from them. They have basically 3 different fabrics that you can combine in a multitude of ways for over 100 options for the t-shirt. The 3 fabric bases that you get a choice of is either a slub, 100% cotton slub, or the Pima, 100% Pima cotton. The last one is a triblend, which is cotton poly rayon, 55% cotton, so it sticks within our constraints of being cotton rich, 33% poly, 12% rayon. The shirts were $32 each, regardless of the fabric or the make, and if you get it with a pocket, I think it's $2 more, $5 freight. So it's very reasonably priced. They're all 3 are made in the USA. The 100% Pima cotton and the slub cotton, just so you know the difference, Pima cotton is just a little bit longer staple, a little bit richer type of cotton than, say, a standard US cotton would be. Not really noticeable to the layman, but that Pima cotton, because it costs more to grow and they charge more for it, so they tend to put it into the finer yarns. So finer yarns, more expensive products, so usually you don't see it in the mid-range to lower range type of items. And so anyways, that's Pima. But really for you and I, Pima, if you were given a piece of fabric, could not identify it against its non-Pima counterpart. Triblend is interesting because of the polyester content. Makes it easy care. Anytime you iron polyester, that kind of heat sets it into that position. So if you iron it flat one time, it's going to want to stay there, and it's going to retain that for, say, 5 to 10 home washes. At least we promise 5, so on our pants, at least that I make out of Vietnam. So I imagine the same applies to this t-shirt, although it'd be interesting to see testing on it. The slub cotton, like I said, is still 100% cotton. The yarn, as they spin it to become a yarn and make it tight, they allow the diameter to vary slightly, and so it goes from thick to thin to thick. And as you look at the shirt, you might see that thickness as being something like maybe a little clump or a knot, or I don't know. It adds texture to the fabric and makes it kind of unique. Gives it character. Should still feel soft, although you will feel a little coarser in the yarn, but it could be a softness as well. The Pima is cooler to the touch, I guess because of the yarn they used. It's really, that's this one right here. The slub, it also feels soft. Like I mentioned, it's a little coarser, but hardly noticeable. The triblend is a drier fabric, if you can understand what that translates to in the touch, but also soft hand feel, all 3 of them. Nicely done. They were $32 each, $5 freight. All 3 of them have the same care instructions: cool wash, tumble dry low if necessary, cool iron to touch it up. I think one says non-chlorine bleach, the other 2 didn't mention that, but if you need to use bleach, then just use it carefully so you don't stain your garments. So as you can see, you have the curved hem and no wrinkling, no puckering. It's very nicely done. It's got the cover stitch here on the bottom, and really no excess fabric beyond the stitching. So at least for that one piece, that this is done nicely. Same thing with the hem on both sleeves. No issue there whatsoever. It's a nice clean finish. The neckline is a little bit different construction. So here you actually have the collar placed on top of the body, where normally we have a construction where the collar is under. let's see. Nope. So this must be a Buck Mason trademark thing. There is no taping in the neck or across the shoulder, or no additional stitching, so no top stitching whatsoever. No top stitching around the armhole or down the side seam. So kind of a minimalistic construction. You do have a label in the neck. I can tell you from wearing the triblend that I don't feel it, but I certainly wish that could be a heat seal. That. So center back 28, 42 on the sweep, chest at the bottom of the armhole, and that looks like 45, and neck 5.5, and a basically 4-inch neck drop there. So it's a little bit shorter this way, a little bit deeper this way, and it actually, I like that than the other shirts we looked at prior to this. Okay, so here are our 3 shirts after wash. Just did a cold wash with dryer, and did use softener with the dryer sheet. Just following the recommended washing instructions. Comfortable to wear, and looked fairly good after wash. I would say the slub is the one that maybe would require some ironing, and we can look at that first and measure it out and see. You can kind of see here it's kind of crinkled. I just hung it right out of the dryer and allowed it to drop, the wrinkles drop out, but it still kind of stayed there. Okay, so starting off with the slub, let's take a look first. The chest we had measured before wash at 44, right at the armhole, and we are still at 44. So the pre-wash took all the shrinkage out of it and kind of left it alone. Center back length right there, almost at 28, which we were 28.25 before. Maybe we lost a half an inch at most. Neck opening 6 inches, we were 5 3/4. Neck drop is 4 inches, so we're still good there. And then the sweep was 42, and let's see, we're at 41.25, more or less. So we lost a little bit in the sweep. Otherwise, everything else looks good. Like I said, this one, we have a little bit of wrinkling here in the center, and somewhat in the back as well. Okay, so here's the Pima Cotton after wash. The appearance looks good. I would say that I don't need to iron it, and I really, if it fits you out of the bag, it's going to fit you after wash as well. It seems like it didn't really change much. So let's try on the other two. So this is the Heather Tri-Blend. It fit me, it measured the biggest, I believe, on our measurements before and after wash. It has the springiest feel to it. It has a little bit of stretch, although there's no spandex in it. Just the nature of the fibers that they used and the weave. Probably the easiest care of the 3. As you can see, it fell perfectly flat, as polyester would help for that, making it easy care, and a good iron. So, you know, if you did buy a typical t-shirt, which is cotton poly, and it's not pre-washed and ironed at the factory, that would be something that you would want to do your first wear, is, you know, out of the dryer, iron it, and then it should keep that at least for 5 more home washes afterwards. And that's what I would expect, that this one would, at least for the next 5 home washes, it's going to come out of the dryer basically ready to wear. No extra ironing needed, and you can see it still looks okay. So this is the slub yarn. It's the coarsest to the touch, still feels fairly soft. It's comfortable to wear. And it's a little bit warmer feeling. I think the tri-blend fabric was probably the coolest, because it probably, and maybe it was just the nature of the weave, what felt a little looser. This feels a little denser, and so did the Pima Cotton. This one was the least forgiving as far as how it looked out of the dryer, but now that I have it on, I don't think the wrinkles are noticeable either. So pretty easy care t-shirt, which is what we want. You know, you bought a t-shirt, it wasn't to go, you know, to a gala. It's really just to be comfortable, and you don't want to have to deal with a lot of care, like having to iron it or something to that nature. As you can see, basically that they fit me the same as they did out of the bag at the factory, which is nice to know. And so anyways, that was my recap of those three. I would say they're all three great fabrics to wear. I do personally like when they add a little bit of spandex, and something that Buck Mason can look at in the future if they subscribe to my channel. That, the label in the back, and maybe top stitching some of the seams so they lay flat, and you don't get the folding of the seam over here in the shoulder. Anyways, if you work for a company that would like to manufacture anything, including these t-shirts, or include some of the improvements maybe that I mentioned, we have performance activewear all the way up to tailored clothing. I work for Aurora Investments out of Vietnam. We have 22 factories. We have 3 of our own laundries. We have a huge staff of merchandisers, quality control people, excellent service, excellent customer service as well. And you have me as your personal sales rep here in the United States. If you ever have a problem, you wish to give me a call. If you'd like to work with us or consider us as a source or a future supplier, please contact me using the contact information listed below. If you like the information provided in my channel, whether you are a manufacturer or not, go over to YouTube and look up Michael Levine and subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so every time I put out a new video, you have a reminder to go look at it. And I look forward to seeing you in future videos. In the meantime, please dress smart, and we'll see you later.